What's happening? I am starting a new little series covering a bunch of different theories, like from the past, whether they've been proved, whether they've been forgotten, just a little bit of a nostalgia thing, and for newer fans, so like history lessons. So the first one is going to be the dream theory. Now this theory made a little cameo in the FNAF Theory film, believe it or not, when Mike Schmidt has got his little book. It's called the dream theory, obviously. Now the dream theory can mean two multiple things. One is a psychology thing, but the second reason is the fact that it was an actual theory in the FNAF fandom. So yeah, it was a bit of a double reference there. But in this video, we're obviously going to be exploring the FNAF side of it. So this theory came to light after FNAF 4 was released, and it was conjured up by Scott's trolling / giving lore hints during a game theory live stream, a GT Live. Now these little clues were put up on scottgames.com, the nostalgia in that, and 3 lore hints were given, and these are what they were. What is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. Next one was, in the FNAF 4 minigame, why would the tiny toy Chica be missing her beak? And the last one is, 4 games, 1 story. Now, this sounds all mysterious and that, and, secretive. But how does this lead you to a dream theory? Well, let's start off with this clue. What is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. So, children can have the wildest imaginations. Child's minds are very creative, and sometimes they do this to explain things they just don't understand. So, in FNAF 4 minigame, you get a glimpse of what seems to be a paper guy putting someone inside a suit in the eyes of a child, of a frightened child in this case. This could look like something a little bit more sinister than what is actually going on. What really could be going on here is just a worker helping another worker with a suit and helping them put it on. However, to a child, like I said, this could just look a little bit more sinister than what, like I said, is going on. So then this little sinister idea is reinforced by this little ginge telling the crying child that when you die at Fredbear's, they hide your body. Now this clue at the time explained the shadow animatronics. They're just literal shadows of the characters performing on stage. That's what they were at the time. It explained them. Now let's move on to the next clue by Scott. In the FNAF 4 minigame, why would tiny toy Chica be missing her beak? Believe it or not, these 2 pixels at the time had made the penny drop for a lot of people. It explained the animatronics, the designs, the behaviours. It just explained a lot of things. These 2 little pixels explained a lot. So let's start off with FNAF 1 animatronics. We see in the child's bedroom the main 4 animatronics: Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy and Chica, who are 4 plush toys based on the 4 characters in the TV show Fredbear and Friends. These toys are very soft and well loved, and probably a little bit smelly.
If I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children, and we need to show them a little respect.
And the one plush that seems to be extremely damaged is the Foxy plush. Some would say it was out of order. Now, Foxy's jump scare is the only jump scare that is completely different from the rest. He just sort of pops out, similar to how the Foxy brother scares the child. But wait, I am missing someone here. And it's a little bit of an unknown, mysterious yellow bird that appears and disappears and talks the player through "It's me," and that is Golden Freddy. Well, Fredbear and Friends shows 5 characters similar to FNAF 1. However, the child doesn't seem to have a yellow bear in his collection. However, what he does have is an imaginary yellow bear with white pupils appearing and disappearing and talking to him. Yeah, you can see why this theory sort of, was kind of convincing. Anyway, let's get back on track. So with the FNAF 1 animatronics explained, let's move on to the FNAF 2 animatronics. So why is it that Toy Chica's beak goes missing once she leaves the stage? Well, the FNAF 2 animatronics are named officially the Toy animatronics. It's in the name, the official name. The key word being toy. In the FNAF minigame, you can see a small child playing with toy versions of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, brightly coloured plastic toys, and next to Chica toy we can see her beak. Believe it or not, it actually explained Mangle. The concept of Mangle still doesn't make sense. Like, I doubt even parents in the 80s, before health and safety went mad, wouldn't have let their precious children take part and just put back together an animatronic with loads of exposed wire and dangerous finger crushing parts. So yeah, this theory sort of sold Mangle. So as we can see, Toy Chica's beak has fell off, and in one of the bedrooms in the child's house we see a broken Foxy toy on the floor. So these toys seem to be flimsy and breaking off into small parts that they're having to be fixed and put back together again.
They thought the first one was too scary, so they redesigned them to be more kid-friendly and put them in Kids Cove to keep the toddlers entertained, But kids these days just can't keep their hands to themselves. The staff literally had to put Foxy back together at the end of every shift. So eventually they just stopped trying and left him as some kind of take apart, put back together attractions.
And as we know from this little girl, this restaurant doesn't sell the safest toys in the world. No, classic Fazbear Entertainment. And these toys could cause injuries. Now, up to now, this theory, it does sort of solve some things where it's like, okay, explain this. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? This theory is very convenient. It's a dream theory, so anything can happen. Like, believe it or not, it can actually explain Springtrap too. So let's have a nose at this little girl again in the FNAF 4 minigame with the little Spring Bonnie toy. This little green, looking, well-loved, stinky toy can trap your fingers. But how does it explain why Springtrap looks like a bowl of spaghetti bolognese? Well, let's take a trip back to the first clue where the child sees there's a person inside the Spring Bonnie suit. Yeah. Now, the next bit just sort of connects things. The clock at the end of FNAF 1 to 3 is a grandfather clock. You wouldn't hear that in an office, let's be honest. But you would hear it in a house. And in the child's house, we see a grandfather clock. But in FNAF 4, the clock is digital. Basically, the theory suggests in FNAF 4 you're in the hospital recovering from the bite. The digital clock is what you find in the hospital, and it also explains why you see IVs, medication, and pots of flowers next to the bed during the events of the FNAF 4 nights. So it's time to sum it up. Basically, 4 games, 1 story. The entirety of FNAF up to FNAF 4 was made up by a child who's absolutely traumatised by Fredbears. Fair enough, the animatronics are creepy. And ends up, dreaming it all up and explains why some things just don't make sense, because if you've ever had a dream before, some weird dreams, some things just don't make sense. Time for a review of the dream theory. Now, this theory is a lot, but it explains a lot at the same time. It smooths the lore out, and things that didn't fit together before fits with this theory. Weird things like wall numbers suddenly making sense, because let's be honest here, like I've just said, we've all had weird dreams where things just aren't possible. However, even though it smoothed things out at the time, I didn't like it. It was convenient. It was too convenient. It explained too much. It felt a bit disappointing because the FNAF game's lore that was so interesting that every Tom, Dick and Harry was keeping an eye on it. Even if they weren't interested in the actual games anymore, they were keeping an eye on the actual lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, and to have it just as a dream, just sort of, like I said, was a bit of a letdown, a bit of a, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it did feel like a bittersweet ending, and it felt like a moment of clarity. It just felt like something had just been lifted off everyone's shoulders. This thing has been sold, finally, and it's just it's time to, ride off into the sunset like one of those old Clint Eastwood films. Now, the book was closed, and it was a relief. Then, of course, Sister Location came around and disproved the theory, and just basically got everyone back into the whole, right, let's look at every single pixel, everyone's toes, everyone's fingers, let's see how many eyelids they've got. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a great theory. Explained things that just couldn't be explained, things that just didn't fit in the lore anymore due to the fact that it was old. For instance, like a lot of things in Final Fantasy 1 does not fit into the lore now, because obviously it was the first game. Scott didn't know where it was going. So yeah, this dream theory did sort of help explain those things. But FNAF will be FNAF, and it will never be easy. It'll never be easy to solve. It'll always be difficult, and that's what's so fun about it. But yeah, that was the dream theory, explained and reviewed. Thank you for watching, and comment what theory you like to see me cover, and just tell me what your favourite theory was, whether it's been disproved, whether the rest of the fandom hates it, whether you still believe in it or not. But yeah, see yous and stay safe.